Hey guys, this week we're out muskie fishing. It's kind of the beginning of summer right now, and these fish are just starting to move. We've had a really weird year, weird weather patterns. Water's been hot, been cold, been hot, been cold. Storms coming through all the time. And when you get moody weather like that, you really got to stick to your guns when it comes to muskies. You got to fish proven spots and fish lures that you get a lot of confidence in, and it will pay off at the end. Today what we're doing is we're just combing weed lines. You know, I got a feeling we're going to see a lot of fish, and the way the water temps have been going, they should kind of pushed off and kind of be on the bottom or deeper edge of the weed line. So if our weed line here is at 16 feet, I'm putting the boat in about 18 to 20. And we're casting up onto the flat and bringing it back down. And lately that seems to be the pattern. Those fish have been kind of sitting on the deeper part of the weed lines. So we're going to throw some search lures. We got some topwater, some bucktails, some crankbaits. Might try a little trolling. We're going to cover water and find some fish, because they're going to get hungry, and we want to be there to catch them. So some of the spots we're fishing today, some classic early summer muskie spots, is the mouths or the opening, the deeper edge of big bays. Like right here we have this bay that's probably 200 yards long. It's just a couple depressions going back in there. And the big thing about them is that's where those fish are spawning early in the year. And even though now they're off the spawn, they're done recuperating and they're moving out to find their home ranges, their areas where they're going to spend the summer, these are still prime spots for bait fish and everything else to collect, and that's where those fish are going to set up on. So when you start your search, the first thing you got to learn about the lake is how deep the weeds are growing in that lake, because you don't want to be fishing on top of the weed beds, and you don't want to be fishing too far out. So you need to learn where the weeds are growing up to, and that's going to allow you to position your boat in the right spot to come in contact with these fish. And depending on the day, the fish might be on the edge, the fish might be up on top of the weeds, or they might move off and kind of suspend out in a little bit deeper water. And that you're not going to know until you start fishing. So when you do that, you got to start out and fish that edge. Keep your boat about 3-4 feet deeper than the weed line and cast up and in. Work those areas over. If you don't see nothing, take it again or take a different spot and move right up on top. And put your boat like right on the weed line and cast way up next to shore. Do that, you don't see nothing, move your boat off. Or put your boat way up in the weeds and cast out to deep water and bring your lure back in. Casting angles can really come into effect this time of year. The fishing's kind of new, but they get beat up really fast. Once opener hits, there's a lot of people that get out for the first few weeks. And casting angles is a way to get around that and get fish that are used to seeing a bait pulled from the deep or casted up shallow and pulled back deep. They're used to seeing that a lot, and a lot of times those fish will just follow and they won't eat. So one thing you can do is put your boat right up next to shore, cast out deep, bring it back in shallow. Or you can take and come sideways over the top of the flat and cast sideways, cast parallel with the weed line. And most of the time that's enough for something different, just to get these fish a little more hyped up, get them a little more aggressive, and to come after your baits and eat them. So another big part of muskie fishing is always having sharp hooks. And when you buy a lure like this spinnerbait out of the package, you'll feel it, you think they're sharp, but they're not. They're nowhere near what they need to be. So the tool I use is a flat file. They've got round ones, and you can even use little Dremels in that. I like to do it by hand, and I like to know they're sharp. So I use a flat file. And what you want to do is kind of hold it in your hand so the hook points up, and you just work your way from the bottom up. Just small little strokes, and go right around the whole lure. And when you know it's sharp, you should be able to take your fingernail and when you touch it, it shouldn't drag across like that. It should stick right into your fingernail. Be careful because it is sharp and you will bleed. But you need to remember, sharpen all your hooks, whether they're new, old, or even after you've already caught a fish. Those hooks get dull, and you need needle point hooks, sharp hooks on them to catch those fish. Because this way, even if you don't realize you get a bite and one grabs it, more than likely he's going to set the hook on himself. So remember that sharp hooks catches a lot more fish. Come on, he's trying. Still there. Are you kidding me? Did you see that thing? Coming up. Supposed to make him angry. He was not big, he was a little guy, but I thought for sure he was going to eat that. He tried 3 different times. Get the net. Just a baby. Oh, oh, oh. All right, oh, hold on. Get the bag in here. Okay. Perfect. Came out of nowhere. Get some pliers back there, Kyle. Oh. It's just a little guy, but persistence pays off when it comes to muskies. You could be having a real slow day, not seeing much, and you just keep casting, keep working those spots where you know there's fish, and they will come in. Get this guy unhooked and get a look at him. Remember, this is really dangerous down here. Even though he's little, he's got a lot of power. Come on. Hook himself too bad. All right. Look at this little guy. It's a muskie, I'll take him. It's been a tough day. We've seen a lot of fish today. A lot of fish have just been shying away from the boat. And we just had one a little bit ago where it was just going crazy. They're finally starting to come. The persistence pays off with muskies. Away she goes. Just keep throwing those baits, fish those spots where you know there's fish, and they will come in the boat. You guys have a good one. We'll see you next week.